Hi guys, this is Mike Hibbert back with another special announcement for this week. This time this announcement's for you guys who have been looking at my Ruby on Rails course. Now, so far there's been an introduction on how to do Ruby on Rails and how to get set up on your system. But I've now got a series of videos that will basically take you from being a complete beginner to then move on to intermediate and then advanced kinds of things. Now, because obviously I need to restrict the amount of time that I'm spending away from my work, again this is going to be a paid course, but not to worry, it's only going to be £29.99, which is roughly about $48. Now what you get for that is you get 6 videos. Now the first one is kind of a video that I designed to kind of help you to get to understand how Ruby's URL managing system goes, so that you can get your head around how to do stuff in the normal way, but also if you've got something a bit special, how to actually manipulate the Ruby on Rails system so that you can do something unusual. So it gives you a better idea of how the routing system actually works inside of Rails. And that covers or comes in the form of a tutorial on how to make a URL shortener, and that will basically give you a good grounding on how that works. The next tutorial is like a 2-part series or videos episode, and it firstly covers how to make a multi-user type of site using Rails. So in the context of this, it's a to-do list, so like a list of tasks to do that people can share, and basically this will take you through how to register and authenticate users and how to get them onto your system and then manage them based on whether they're logged in or not. All the kind of stuff that you need for user authentication on a website. Then following that, the second part of that tutorial episode actually covers how to actually implement Stripe payment for them. So the kind of Stripe payment that we're talking about here is taking a monthly subscription from your users from the site, which is something that everyone's into these days. Paid access to websites is something that you're going to come across without doubt if you're going to be dealing with Ruby on Rails. Then we have another 2-parter, and this one is basically how to build a website that is very much similar to Dropbox.com. This basically gives you the basics on how to actually go about getting people to separate files online in their own kind of storage area. Now that hooks up with a deployment tutorial on how to deploy onto Heroku, how to deploy Rails onto Heroku, and also how to actually use Rails to manage the whole storing of files onto Amazon Web Services S3 storage. So it gets you from the whole how do you manage their files to actually how do you keep them in the cloud on S3 as well. So it gives you a good grounding in online storage and also making high availability websites with Rails. And then finally, we've got something a bit more in depth, and this is probably the advanced side of things. It will be how to develop a Rails engine. Now, if you don't know what an engine is basically a application that you can reuse throughout other Rails apps. So it's basically a code module that can be replugged into a different site at a later date with not too much configuration. So we're going to show you how to actually build your own engine, and the tutorial takes the form of how to build an online shop and then have it used, how to actually integrate it with a new site. And that should give you a very good insight into some of the more complicated and more advanced parts of things. So we're going to start off very simply with a URL shortener, which won't be massively complicated, and then we'll gradually build in complexity so that you can get to know some of the more in-depth things about Rails and Ruby, and then eventually you should have enough skills to build pretty much any website you want once you've done that. Also, just to mention in there that there is actually quite a nice little introduction in the Dropbox tutorials on how to use Twitter Bootstrap alongside that. So if you're wanting to get to know Twitter Bootstrap, that's in with there. So there's lots and lots of information in there that you can glean from that, as is the case with all the other tutorials that I do. There's always stuff in there that really isn't necessarily under the subject, but it's pretty handy to know. So it's packed with information, and it's pretty much going to be available from today. So if you're interested in that, all you need to do is visit my website, which is http://www.mikehibbert.me.uk/#Rails. If you put the hash in, that'll bring you straight down to the anchor and give you the Ruby on Rails information section. And to sign up, all you need to do is basically click the Buy It Now button. That'll take you through to PayPal and take $29.99 off you. And once that's done, I will set about setting you up with some login details so you can access these video tutorials. And of course, as is the case with all my tutorials, when you're on these series, I will be available for you to be able to send messages and ask questions as much as you need, so that we can get you through this and so that you can learn with an assisted proper trainer. Okay, well, I hope that that's a great idea for you guys, and I hope that you like the idea. If not, then I've wasted loads and loads of hours of my time, but never mind. And if you do like it, then I'm sure you're going to learn loads for this, and you're going to really, really be able to get yourself stuck into doing Rails development as well. Okay, thanks for watching.